Part 2 of the January 2024 Community Redraw. Not really much to say on this one, we're just going to pick up where Nexum, the Kid and Velocity left off, entering the Nexus. So, let's bring these illustrations to life.
What's with this place? Why are there so many mech armors here? I knew you had a database of the armors you made, and there was only a few of them. Well, that's what you said, but seriously? Just how many mech armors do you have here? This has to be your whole collection, isn't it?
Well, it's just a small portion of my collection. These are the ones that I built while ideas came into my head. Although, that section over there, those are the ones I make for clients.
Wait, those are the ones you said you're going to make. How the hell did you get them in here without me noticing? I mean, you've not been here.
That's a trade secret. And maybe when you get as good as I am at doing these mech armors, I might tell you.
But what the heck is with this many? I mean, are you going to war or something?
Can't be too prepared, especially with Loki and his demons out there causing chaos. After that experience with the cabin, I've made plans to ensure that I won't end up like that again.
Loki? Demons? Oh yeah, that's right. Nexum, I have something to tell you about the mission I was on with Mr. Dino Monster!
I'll have to wait, at least until we finish up here. Can't keep the kid waiting for too long to run through the mechs in this order. That is once he comes back to his senses. Hey, kid, you still in there?
This place makes no sense. How are there so many mech armors in here and it goes up so high? But we what? We're in a place that's just, well, a tiny workshop, isn't it? I mean, it's bigger on the inside?
Ah, yeah, well, that. You see, the shack uses a bit of tech I got in Dimension where there's this race of, what was it? Lords of Time. No, that's not right. Oh, right, yeah, Time Lords. And they have these things that are infinitely bigger on the inside, but can be whatever shape on the outside, they prefer. It's a rather useful piece of technology. So I adapted one for this part of the workshop.
Time Lords? Bigger on the inside? Are you sure that's not a Doctor Who reference?
Doctor what now? Well, never mind. I don't want to get in any trouble for anything else at the moment with the Department of Multiversal Matters. You mind keeping this Time Lord tech a secret? So, kid, this is the Nexus. Sweet name, isn't it? Came up with myself. So the Nexus is kind of like my
armory. It's an armory, isn't it?
Well, I guess you could call it that in a sense, yeah, but that's not the point. Let's go over here and look at the first armor I made for the client. It'll be good for you to see this one. It has a rather unique and interesting build design to it. It's based on a Fakemon called Taunus, a kind of furnace turtle Fakemon. Man, I wish Aaronville could see it. I think it was a fire and steel type. Had a kind of steampunk feel to the thing, so I decided to make the armor kind of match it. This thing has a kind of exhaust on its back to let out smoke screen. It can also heat up to insane temperatures, but the key thing here is that this armor can rapidly cool without getting damaged. Not to mention, the user isn't affected by the heat that this thing can pull out.
How? What? In that tin can, they melt! Internal cooling. He's used this technique before, but I never thought I'd see a design like this. It's not your normal style of mech armor, is it?
Hey kid, I may not look it, but I can make any armor to how the client wants it, even if it is to look and feel like it's something from the Dark Ages. Although, it does have its own appeal. The two horns are just there for decoration though. Part of that matching their Fakemon aspect into this. It can use fire attacks and direct the heat if needed. So, what do you think? Pretty hot, isn't it? If you get what I mean.
What the hell is that thing? That's a mech armor. I know they come in all shapes and sizes, but that's just it's a giant face.
Look closer, kid. You might spot something.
Oh my god! That thing scared me half to death! Why would you want something like that?
Hey, I only make what the clients pay for. It's not my problem it looks like, well, like it does. As long as the money's good and I can't get into trouble from them having it, well, then it's all good with me.
What? do you mean look closer? It's a giant human-sized face. I'm not sure what to say.
Okay, kid, maybe this'll help.
What was that? Oh, the scary armor opened up to show another face inside. That's kinda cool. I see what you mean now, but why is this one based on a mask?
You see, kid, this one is based on a Fakemon called Tikinetic. Apparently, it's a grass-type Fakemon. It has its own special abilities. Psychic ones, in fact. It was a rather interesting-looking Fakemon. Just a floating mask that would communicate telepathically with anyone it wanted to, in any language as well. Guess that's how the brain translates the signals or something. Anyway, as you can tell, this thing had a kind of Crash Bandicoot feel to the design, so I went with a rather interesting colour combination and made the main body match the look and feel of the Fakemon.
Now that you mention it, it does look a bit funny looking. It's like one of those totem pole face things.
That's right, it's like a tribal mask, totem pole type thing. Glad you noticed. It's nice to see my handiwork looking like it's meant to when someone other than the client sees it. Not like that one time at band. No, never mind. That's a story for another time.
So, yeah. It's a floating tribal type Fakemon with psychic abilities. How did you copy those to make the armor do the same? You can't just make psychic stuff, can you? I mean, what are you going to do so the armor makes things float in a controlled way? Because a gravity field won't work. It's not refined enough to do that type of thing or have an effect.
But you see, kid, you're half right. On its own, it won't. But adding a little bit of fancy thinking and a bioelectric magnet on the gravity field, and you can move objects and people easy peasy. Even make the armor float in the air and fly without needing traditional hover tech or thrusters. Or jetpacks for that matter.
Bioelectric magnet? You're making that up, right?
Nope, it's a real thing. Not sure why it wasn't called a bioelectromagnet, but whoever invented the tech called it that, so I'm just going with it. It picks up the solar electromagnetic fields in everything and allows you to target them, combining that with the anti-gravity tech, and it works just perfectly.
What if it runs out of power or those two systems go out of sync? Won't it, well...
So, you spotted it, didn't you? Seems like you haven't been slacking off on your research and, well, let's call it your self-study.
Not like I had a choice. I didn't want to blow myself up, especially since you're not about to teach the correct way to do things.
There's nothing better than a bit of hands-on learning, but yes, if those go out of sync, it could create a black hole and start sucking everything in until there's nothing left.
It can create what? A black hole, and you're just talking like it's nothing, and we just don't have to worry about it. What if you make a mistake and, I don't know, it just implodes?
Firstly, I'm impressed that you knew it was an implosion, not an explosion.
Hey! Rude! I'm not just a pretty face, you know.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. More importantly, as I was trying to say, there's a failsafe that'll kick in if it gets to the point of starting to create a black hole that'll teleport the wearer out of the armor and put the armor into the orbit of the nearest black hole in space. That should mean that the armor, black hole that it's making are both destroyed, unless there's some form of resonance, but, well, that just can't happen.
What's this one? It looks like the flying one the kid did, but it's blue, and, well, this is, I don't know, it seems cool. I just can't place what's up with it. Yeah, there's something strange about this one. It gives off a feeling of... It's intimidating me!
That's right, this one was based on a fake one for a client with an aura to match. And believe me, this armor's got nothing on the pair of those two. This Fakemon went by the name Ram Lethal, and it seems to be a kind of guardian Fakemon, quite imposing.
Is that all it does? Intimidate and guard things? I mean, the armor looks cool, and I guess it does work for a certain dark crusader who likes to wear fancy dress. But I know what type of clients you choose, and well, what's the abilities of this one? What do you mean, types of clients? Let's just say it's not all about who makes a good client. More often or not, the names in the database are from as many, how do I put this? Not so nice-natured clientele. Kind of funding both sides of good and evil in some dimensions, as long as they pay enough.
Hey! Don't judge a mech armor by its user, kid. And besides, all my mech armors are neither good nor bad. I take on the ones that can afford my skills, and what they do with it after, not my problem, though I do offer a rather nice repair package. But you asked about the abilities to this one, didn't you?
Yeah, he did, mister. I'm gonna fuel a war.
Calm down, calm down. Didn't you hear what I just said?
Yeah, so what?
Forget it. So, this one can create giant gusts of wind that will, well, it will and can cause buildings and trees to get blown away with enough consecutive blasts. Kinda like a walking tornado or hurricane feature. However, the wearer is safe and sound in the eye of the storm on this one, and can even use the ability while in the air or flying around without getting caught in the crosswinds. That's a bit deadly, isn't it? I mean, isn't that too much power, like a force of nature? It's fine, kid. This one has a limiter. You have to be in a situation to use the power that's a valid reason. The client on this one was a goody two-shoes, so they wanted to make it limited unless a series of bio and secure limiter removal codes were entered. That way, if anyone stole the armor, and, well, why wouldn't they look at it? It's a beautiful and finely crafted piece of work, if I do say so myself.
See, he makes armors for good guys. Can you make me an armor? As I'm on the team and, well, we're good guys, aren't we?
Well, I'm looking into making some for the others. I guess I can after I've done theirs, though I'm not sure what kind of armor to make you. It's still kind of new here.
I want one that can work with orange.
As long as you don't expect me to make it. But what is this Nexus for, really? It's a bit of an overkill for making mech armors when you're bored. There's hundreds in here. I'm serious, this is not something you can say is a hobby. An obsession, maybe? But it's like you're building for an army.
Well, to become the best at something, I guess there's a need to be obsessed with it to a degree, but still, I wouldn't call the few thousand here an army. I mean, after all, no one is using or piloting these armors.
That's true. So basically, you're just making these to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Hey, very clever pun there, kid. I guess you could say that.
What?
Well, this is turning out to be another interesting episode, and as I say, the plot thickens. As always, a special thanks to those who are selected, and this time it's Taunus by Sherry Clark, Tignetic by Apple Flavors, and Ram Lethal by MGL Flash Hybrid God. If you haven't seen it already, there was an announcement about Friday's video, which is a collaboration. A group of very talented speed paint and story artists are coming together, including yours truly. And we're going to be releasing videos around a very popular video game with a special cameo appearance by friend of the channel and inspiring artist Popcross Studios. So be sure to check it out.